So tonight you got 43 pointers, only made 9 of them, but did you like the looks you were getting? It seemed like you guys were just missing some of the good looks.
Well, that's been consistent throughout the year, but this is my thing. I think at one point we were 2 of 20. So it's a fine line. You don't want to tell guys to stop shooting, but I was imploring them in the huddle sometimes, like PJ Dozier came down in the third quarter, I think, missed a three. Next possession, drove the ball, got to the basket, and finished. We have to mix that in. It just can't be shooting threes to shoot threes. And on nights where you're not shooting it well, and there've been quite a few this year, to be honest, we have to find a way to attack the basket, get to the free throw line. But then to your point, TJ, there were some that you have to shoot. There's no one even near you. Great looks. But there were other ones where it's a 3-on-1 break and we're shooting a pull-up three. Those are ones that, we have to think attack and not settle in those instances. But two of the biggest ones were Aaron Gordon late, obviously back-to-back corner threes, huge shots. And that was, it wasn't a pretty win, let's be honest. But, for us, any win is great right now. We knew this was going to be a hard-fought game. That team is talented. They've been playing a lot of teams really tough, had chances to beat some teams, and, we did enough to win. And there's a lot that we can clean up, and hopefully we can do that and get ready for Monday night against a very talented Miami Heat team.
Do you have any update on Michael Porter?
No, to be honest. I know I saw him at halftime, talked to him quickly, gave him a hug, but I'll go back and talk to our training staff to see what happened on that layup. Obviously he came down funny, and then that was the end of his night.
Have you been struggling physically at all prior to that in recent days?
No, I think, everybody's got bumps and bruises, kids, but there was nothing that was he wasn't questionable going into today. There was nothing that he was battling where I felt that he'd be a game time decision. So I'll have to go back and watch that play. That's karma, man. Just give the ball to Will Barton to lay it up, and then we're not even in this situation. But it's unfortunate, obviously Michael, even though he hasn't been shooting great, he's a big part of our team. And so hopefully it's nothing serious, and we can get him back hopefully next game. But I'll have to wait and see what our trainers say.
We've asked many times, but to what extent did the Joker will you to this victory from the third quarter performance to Black at the end?
Yeah, I just gave him the Defensive Player of the Game award, because of that game-saving block. So like Will Barton got in Minnesota against Malik. I told him at halftime, I looked at him, I said, "You ready to play 24 minutes?" And he looked at me, goes, "Whatever it takes." So yeah, Nikola's a warrior. And, when things are in doubt, you play through him. And, that's why he's a great player. And that's why we're fortunate that he represents this city, this organization at such a high level every single night. So it's a good win for us.
Coach, the bench, they get you a lead out in that fourth quarter at about the 8:30 mark, and then Steven Silas takes a timeout. Don't go back to Nikola at that stretch, and then the other bench sort of gets them back into that game. What is it about those moments, that timing there between getting the bench and the starters back into it, that this team in particular has struggled with so much?
Yeah, I don't have a black and white answer to that. I think every night it could be a different answer. To your point, I thought that unit that was in there to start the fourth was playing well, both offensively and defensively, and I was excited about that. I was hoping that they could sustain that, and I wouldn't have to rush to bring those starters back in, because it's great to see. Austin Rivers, proud of him, 10-year vet, taken out of the rotation, stays ready, goes out there and impacts the game. That was really great to see. I was happy for Austin. But that group was playing well. Then to your point, all of a sudden Houston answers. They go on a 7-0 run, and I take a timeout. And all right, now we got to get our guys back in. It's around 7:44 to go in the game, and we need to bring our closers in. So hopefully, I thought that bench unit was pretty good tonight. I thought Jeff Green, played an aggressive brand of basketball, playing through him in the post. Bones had an off night in terms of kind of shooting the ball, but that's going to happen. He's a rookie. But I felt that this game, even though the numbers may not say it, I thought those guys gave us some good minutes across the board tonight.
We talk about players in very black and white terms. So Aaron Gordon's not a shooter versus he is a shooter. Is part of his value that he can have these type of nights for you where he gets two massive threes down the stretch, that he does have that even if it's not consistent?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when we traded for him last year, he was shooting career high from three in Orlando. And then obviously when he got here, those percentages didn't stay where they were. But I was in the gym with Aaron Gordon this summer. He spent a lot of time here in Denver, and he worked on his game. He worked on his shot. I think he understood that, okay, sometimes I shoot a really flat shot. I got to get it up. I got to hold my follow through, just simple basics and fundamentals. And so I wasn't surprised to see those threes go in. He has that within him. Is he a 40% three-point shooter that's going to take 8 a game? No, that's not his game. But he's definitely not broke, and he's definitely a guy that can make that shot if teams are going to leave him open. And obviously those 2 back-to-back corner threes, really kind of saved the game for us.
How do you often handle being removed from the rotation for those couple of games, and how much confidence do you have him as a backup three if you need him there in the next game or 2?
I have complete confidence, to be honest. And the reason I'm confident is, one, he's a 10-year vet. And the second reason would be because how well he handled it when I spoke with him. No one ever wants to hear that you're being taken out of the rotation. Those are always tough conversations. And I watched the game on Monday night in Memphis. I was in my room. It was like 2:00 in the morning. I'm watching the game, and I text him because as the game is going on, when a good play happens, I see Austin Rivers off the bench clapping and cheering. And that meant so much. Like, those things matter to me. Everybody gets caught and on the court and the stats. I look at a lot of the little things, the details. And to see a 10-year vet that had been pulled from rotation up cheering and supporting his teammates meant the world to me and spoke volumes about his character. So yes, it was a tough conversation, but he handled it well. And he told me, he goes, Coach, do I want to be taken out of the rotation? No. Do I think I can help this team? Yes. But I will stay ready. I'm going to support the guys. And what he said is almost, like a foreshadowing. He goes, in this business, it comes around. It's going to come back to me, and I'm going to stay ready and take advantage of it. And here it is tonight. He went out there. He played with Eric Gordon. He knows that guy. And I thought he had some really good defensive possessions. He had a great driving kick. We missed his shot, but he made good basketball plays. And it wasn't a second unit was struggling because of Austin Rivers. I was just trying to change things up, and he happened to be the fall guy. So, by no means was I saying that one person was responsible for a 5-man group. So I'm proud of Austin for handling it as well as he did.
When you're watching, what do you see that gives you hope, and what do you see that gives you concern?
Yeah, I mean, it's, every game is a little bit different. I challenged our guys today, kids. I said, we should never lose 3 games in a row. That should be something that is unacceptable in our DNA. I was proud of our guys. We lost to Cleveland and Utah in a back-to-back. We came back and we beat Dallas handily, and then we beat Minnesota. We lost 2 games in Memphis. We came back and found a way somehow to get a win today. So when I'm watching film, I'm looking at the details, the discipline, our guys engaged, our guys communicating. And I have all the hope in the world. I mean, my expectations might be different than everybody else's, but I just want us to continue to work and get better and try to be the best team we can be every single night and take steps in the right direction. We're 5-4. I take a step back sometimes. I survey the NBA landscape, and it is a weird season. I mean, we're 5-4, and that's who we are, right? That's our record says who we are. You look across the other teams that were in the finals, teams that are supposed to be top of the conferences, and a lot of teams are struggling. A lot of teams are trying to find themselves, and we just have to worry about ourselves. We have a lengthy homestand, and hopefully we can find a way to continue to take it one game at a time and try to get better each and every day.
After that first loss in Memphis, you spoke about the effort of your team. It feels like tonight, having those 2 big rebounds by PJ Dozier and then the game-winning block, that it was an effort kind of won game. Does it feel like you turned a corner in that regard and the urgency is kind of set in for your team?
Yeah, and I think with 9 games played, I don't think urgency or being ready to play has been a consistent issue. Obviously, that game on Wednesday night, that was the first time our starters went out there and just got blasted. So that hasn't been a reoccurring theme. But yeah, it was great to see, us make some, big hustle plays. And I'm glad you mentioned PJ Dozier. PJ is so important to this team. And I went up to him, I talked to him today for a while. I grabbed a bunch of guys individually, talked to Jeff Green today, talked to PJ, and I said, PJ, man, I love you and we need you. And the fact that you're not playing to the best of your abilities isn't on you, it's on me. I'm not helping you enough. What can I do to help you? How can I empower you? And I thought PJ, playing with that starting unit, especially in the second half, played well for us. And you mentioned it, we get a stop. He goes up and gets a big rebound. We have an ensuing possession that's not great. I definitely was thinking about taking the timeout, probably should have in hindsight, just to settle us down. And he made some really good plays, rebounding, playmaking, and we need that from PJ Dozier. He is a really important piece to this team, and I got to continue to help him and all of our players. That's my job as the head coach, is to do that with these guys every single day. All right, appreciate it, everybody.